So, welcome to another weekly webinar. So, every Friday, as you know, we do our weekly webinar. We cover different topics, and it really all depends upon what gets stirred up during the week. So, this week, on the demonstration part of this webinar, I thought I'd tackle something that is very common for a lot of us. A lot of us get stuck in this spiral of figuring it out. You know, we want to know the answer. We're constantly asking our mind, and it leads to a very noisy mind. That's why I often call it chaos to calm. And that's really the theme of today's webinar. It's about really tackling that need, that incessant need to ask your mind for answers. And of course, your mind doesn't have the answers. So we get further and deeper down into this spiral to space. So that's what we're going to be covering tonight, a little bit later on. But right now, what I'm going to do is share my screen. We're going to get the slides up and running, and just give me a second while we do that. Okay, here we go. All right. So here we go. Going to get a nice big screen right here. Perfect. So the title of this webinar is 6 Steps to a Quiet Mind. Here's some of the things we're going to be learning. I've already explained a little bit about what we're going to be covering, but some of the other things we're going to be covering, of course, is the spiral of despair, how to overcome self-sabotage using my very simple techniques, 6 steps for a quiet mind, and why getting into this is so important, and of course, a nice little demonstration coming up as well. So stay tuned right to the end, because you're going to really get a lot of value from this webinar. It's unlike any webinar you've been on before, because I'm actually going to take you through a real live demonstration. This isn't just me talking to you, it's an actual real life demonstration. So who is the anxiety expert? Who am I, basically? So I've worked with thousands of people all over the world. Really is, you know, I've worked with people in the States, in Greece, in Cyprus, right across the width and breadth of the world, if you like. I myself have suffered from anxiety and depression for many, many years, so I know very well what it's like. I know the turmoil. I know the fact that it's difficult sometimes to get to a quiet mind, because your mind is noisy. It's in a sense of chaos. It's like a raging ocean, isn't it? It just never seems to quiet down. And of course, with depression, that leads to low moods. It leads to us almost being ostracized by society, because people just don't seem to understand what you're going through. They'll often tell you to get a grip, put in perspective, get a life. You know, what's your problem? Everybody has problems. Everybody has depression. What's so bad about your depression? And we sort of compare and contrast how bad a depression is, or how bad anxiety is. And for the person who's going through it, it could often be a lonely experience in some ways, because it's difficult to reach out to people, and it's difficult for people to understand what you're going through unless they've actually been through it themselves. So that's why, unfortunately, when you get to see other therapists out there, you know, a lot of them haven't really been through this. So when you talk to a therapist about your anxiety and depression, they really haven't got a clue what you're talking about, and much less they really haven't got a clue about how to actually work with you. Now, I, on the other hand, have suffered from depression and anxiety for many, many years, 10, 20 years of going through it. So I'm very familiar with it, and it's taken me a long, long time to get over it. And I'll be sharing, obviously, how you can do that yourself. So very similar to a lot of the clients I work with, they've been failed by the system out there. Traditional systems, especially where I live in the UK, just tend to fail people who suffer from anxiety. And it's thrown onto cognitive behavioral therapy. It's all analytical. You've got to analyze this thing, analyze that thing. And all you really want to do is just for someone to say, look, this is how you get over your anxiety. Follow this, this, and this, and job done. So that's what I do. It's all results orientated. It's follow this, follow this, follow this, do this, do this, do this. Get rid of your anxiety. There's no waffle in between. There's no fanciness in between. Let's just get the job done. Let's get the result and let's move on, because we've got lives to lead at the end of the day. So what are some of the things? Obviously, I get a lot of testimonials. Unfortunately, I get a lot of people who through confidentiality, won't actually release testimonials publicly, but here are a few that I've been given permission to share. So Adam Easton is a world-famous author, trainer and founder of the Anglo-European College of Therapeutic Hypnosis. I actually studied with Adam myself many years ago now, and got myself qualified through his school. If you're ever thinking of going to hypnotherapy, I highly recommend going and checking out his course on how to get qualified as a hypnotherapist. It's just an incredible in-depth experience, and Adam is really the kind of person that knows just about everything to do with the theory of hypnosis and hypnotherapy. So he says, Shaun White is a driven and highly motivating professional clinical practitioner. His high-level skills in hypnotherapy are supported by his high level of achievement with his studies, and is exemplified with his success in helping people make significant changes in their lives. Aaron Surtees, he is the director of London's leading hypnotherapy practice in London called City Hypnosis, and he says, Shaun has excellent phobia and anxiety treatments amongst other strings to his bow, a top hypnotherapist. And here is actually a client testimonial. I helped this person. Basically, this person came to see me at City Hypnosis for fear of getting onto a motorbike. She was in a bit of a bad accident, and she really thought she'd never get back on the motorbike, and she was desperate to get back on it. This was almost like her last resort. So she said, I've had a wonderful experience with City Hypnosis. My hypnotist, Shaun, has been amazing and very supportive. I noticed the effects immediately. I am much calmer and more relaxed due to my hypnosis. I have learned techniques to help and expand on what was achieved during the sessions. I would definitely recommend Shaun. So I share this to really put it out there that I know what I'm talking about. I get results, and if you're serious and you come with the right mindset and you come with an open mind, then I'm going to get you what you want, which is, for the most of the time, is for people to overcome their anxieties and their fears. So obviously we can't guarantee results. Much depends upon those people who take action, but those who take action and follow the process get exactly what they are looking for. Conversely, those that don't follow the process and just don't do the homework, they don't apply themselves, they don't use the support mechanisms in place, obviously don't get the result. So what is a feeling? Now, it may sound a bit bizarre to start with something that's very fundamental and basic as to what is a feeling, but it's really important we understand the basics. So feelings are like fuel that drives a car. Now, if you put the wrong fuel into the car, you're going to get the wrong result, right? I think we all know that. I think we can all relate to that. You know, it doesn't matter how amazing your car is. If you put the wrong fuel in, it just simply isn't going to run. It's just not going to function. Now, with us, just like a vehicle, if you put the wrong fuel into a car, you have to call out the RAC, they've got to clean out the engine, they've got to remove the fuel, in other words, they've got to release the bad fuel and give it a good old wash, give it a good old clean, and then put the new fuel, the right fuel, in place. What we do is we release the emotion, okay? We release the feeling, we release the emotion, and that's our way of regaining control, regaining balance, so we can get back on track. Okay, now in the initial stages, it takes practice, but it's a very simple technique. And in fact, I've actually, within the first 50 minutes of people working with me on our one-to-one programs, they get pretty much the result within the first couple of sessions because it's instantaneous. You notice the results immediately. This isn't like traditional therapy where you have to, where you may not even get a result, quite frankly. But if you are lucky enough to even get some sort of mediocre result, that could take weeks. It could take 12 weeks down. It could be 12 weeks down the line before you notice any change. But we're talking about permanent change here. We're not talking about superficial, temporary change. We're talking about real, deep, profound change that you feel and know deep in yourself. So, what is the mind? Now, Lester Levinson, if you've not checked out Lester Levinson, just go to YouTube, check out Friends of Lester, have a little listen to some of his stuff out there. It is amazing. It's going to change your life. You're going to get a lot of aha moments. And it's just going to be able to just put in perspective like what you're going through. And he'll give you the right path. He'll tell you what the right path is, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. And in fact, he actually alludes to it right here. So the more you quiet the mind, the more you feel the self. And the better you feel. You feel as good as your mind is quiet. So the more quiet we are, then the more we are in tune with ourselves. What he means by that is our natural state, our inherent natural state is quietness. Now, if you're not in quiet, you're in your mind. Now, your mind is a concoction of noise, it's a concoction of beliefs and thoughts. And I've got to do this, I've got to figure this out, I've got to take this action, that action. I don't like where I am, so I've got to try and figure out how do I get out of this situation to go to a better situation. And it's constantly in flux, it's constantly all over the place. So the reverse is true. So from quietness comes change. It's the opposite to what you've been told before. You've been taught to take action to induce change. That isn't the right concept. The right way is to get quiet, and then the change happens. And you've only got to prove it to yourself, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But the more you're quiet, the more everything changes. So try it out, explore it, take action on that. Notice throughout your day that the more you get quiet in yourself, you'll notice that state of quietness, the more things just seem to flow. Like you'll drive to work and the lights are normally in red. Every single red light, it's a red light. But today it's a green light. Normally it's loads of traffic. Today the traffic's minimal, if at all. It's the same for people. That person that you had an argument with yesterday, because you're in quiet today, either isn't there or is more relaxed with you. So that's the point that we're trying to get across here. It's a different way of thinking. It's a different way of living, really. Now, the mind is a warehouse of thoughts. Now, the way I like to describe it, it's a bit like an Amazon warehouse, right? Amazon has just about every product on the planet, but you can't buy a product from Amazon if it's not in the warehouse. If it's not in a warehouse, you can't get it. Same as our minds. If it's not in our mind, we can't achieve it. We can't action it. We can't relate to it, okay? So that's the best way to think of the mind. And one of the things that became apparent in my early years when I first learned a lot of this information was how very important the chart of emotions are. Now, the chart of emotions acts as a reference guide to showing us where we are, what we're doing, where we are on a minute-by-minute basis, and even on a day-to-day basis as well. So it's a point of reference to see where we are on the scheme of things. And we should always be looking to go, well, in this case, down the chart. But really, when you look at it, it's going up the chart. So we move from apathy. We're moving from apathy. Let me see if I can do it here, my pointer. Moving from apathy all the way down to peace. That's what's important. So it goes apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, pride. They're the negative states. Don't want anything to do with those. The positive states is courageousness, acceptance, and peace. Now, courageousness is a sense of, I can do something, I can do it. Acceptance is, it's okay. I'm okay at work. I'm okay being where I am. I'm okay in my environment. It's all good because I know deep down everything's going to work out. Everything's fine. Everything's perfect. I don't need to change or alter anything. Now, peace is a slightly higher state than that. It's a deep sense of now. It's a deep sense of I. Now, the word I, is very powerful because that word centers ourselves very quickly. So if you were to just take a few seconds out right now and just repeat the word I to yourself and go, I, you'll notice that the more you just reflect on it, the more you quiet down. And that's the power of quiet. Now, who can relate to this? Now, this is the spiral of despair. Now, this is something that a lot of us, myself included, in my earlier days, I used to sort of hang out in this spiral pretty much on a day-to-day basis. This used to be my life. I'd start with a problem, try to figure out what to do. I got no answers, so I'd disapprove of myself, I'd get depressed, I'd get frustrated, I'd get annoyed, and I'd go back into the bottom, and I'd go deeper and deeper down into this negative state. And I used to think, sometimes you just wake up and think, what's the point? What is the point of being here? what is the point of being on this earth? And what's the point of doing anything at all if every day is going to be the same? If every day is going to be the same old sort of trudging through life, then what is the point? So that's really where we end up. We end up in that very negative state, which I'll just show you going back again. We end up in this state called apathy. And apathy is that why bother? It's a victimless state. It's the lowest energy state. And for many of us, you'll notice, I'm just going to take a quick drink of water very quickly. Right. So that is the spiral of despair. So I want you to think about how this applies to you. Do you relate to the spiral of despair? Is this something that you're going through right now? Now, if it is, there is good news. You don't have to spend years and years and years and years and years trying to figure out what to do, like I had to do. It took me years and years and years, more years than I care to think, how to get over my own anxiety, my own depression. And it's not to say that I'm completely stable all the time. There are times when I get anxious. There are times when I get low and I get depressed. But at each point in time, I know how to get out of it. So it may knock you down for a day. It may knock you down for a couple of days, but you know how to get out of it. And that's the critical point. Whereas before, you'd stay in that state for weeks, sometimes even months on end, sometimes even years on end, So now the first step, right, to overcoming your anxiety is to start to drill down to some of the key things. Now, the first thing I want you to do is to get a sheet of paper, get a notebook, get a pen right here, right now. Stop what you're doing. I'll hang back here for a second. Get a pen, get a paper. When you're ready, let's rock and roll. So I want you to write down on that sheet of paper how anxiety affects you, what are your beliefs about anxiety. Maybe you think, I can't do it, I can't overcome it, don't know what I'm doing, always had it, never going to overcome it. That's the first exercise I want you to do. I want you to type it in, I want you to write it out. You can come back to the recording, you can pause it and take your time going through it, but it's important you do this exercise first. Now we know what our beliefs are about anxiety, we need to know what we'd like to believe. What would you like to hold in mind? So again, on that sheet of paper, just write down what beliefs you want to hold in mind. Now, for some of us, it might be to have a quiet mind. Maybe that's the goal. It's a smart goal, that one. Maybe you'd like to just be free. People often say to me, I just want to be free from it. Maybe it's having better relationships with your children, being able to go out and do things that you can't do because of your anxiety. Maybe you just want to stop feeling alone when your husband goes on holiday or abroad, when your partner goes abroad. So write down what you want. What is it you want to hold in mind? What is the goal here? And when you write that down, notice how you feel about it. You're going to feel good, right? And that's because you're switching things up a bit. You're focusing on the positive part of the process. Okay. Now, as much as we want to hold in mind the right thing, there's certain things that stop us from believing it. There's certain things that stop us from actually believing that this is true for us. So I want you to write in the chat, what is stopping you from believing these positive beliefs? Now, I've given you some examples. Maybe it's, I can't achieve this, I can't do it, I always fail, I'm a failure, it's me, I can't do it. These are some of the things that we've got. So just spend a few seconds now writing down what your belief is, what's stopping you from having this goal, what's in the way. Right. So hopefully you can start to see the picture here. When we know what our beliefs are about anxiety, when we know where we want to go and we know what's stopping us, we can then make a decision. We have a bit more power now. We're moving up that scale into courageousness. I can do this. I can get my goal because I can see what's stopping me. So how can we do that? How can we change a negative belief into a positive one? Now, you may well have come across this before. This is called, in NLP terms, an NLP technique, neuro-linguistic programming technique called positive reframing. They call this reframing it. So what we're going to do is write out the negative self-sabotage belief. And then what we're going to do is write out the more positive version of that belief. So I'm never going to achieve anxiety would be, I can achieve it. I'm never going to do this would be, I can do this. So these are some examples that we've got here on the side. And we want to use progressive language like, I can do this. So I can have a perfect relationship. I can be anxiety free. I have total freedom. I have total peace. So another example here is I can't have £1 million would be I have £1 million. I can have £1 million. So play around with it. Again, you can always revisit this particular slide. I want to move on so we can get into the demonstration part. So the title of the webinar was 6 Steps for a Quiet Mind, right? So here are the 6 steps that you can use right here, right now to begin to change your life. So make sure you pause the slide, make sure you write this down, get on a small little, not post-it note, but a little postcard thing that you can just keep in your pocket, keep with you at all times so you can refer to it every time you think you're getting out of control. So step 1 is decide to be quiet in spite of the thought or belief. So I'm just going to show you what that is. Decide to be quiet in spite of the thought and belief. Okay? The next one is observe the thought as it is. We're just going to watch the thought. Could you watch it? Could you just watch the thought doing what it does? The next stage is decide this thought is neither good or bad. It's not good, it's not bad. This gives us room to maneuver. We're moving into that state of peace. Very powerful question. Decide this thought is neither good nor bad. Okay. Number 4. Now we've noticed the feelings are starting to stir up a little bit. We're going to just allow these feelings to leave. Okay. Just going to allow these feelings to leave. Open up the door, allow these feelings to leave. And as they leave, you're going to get quiet. So as you get quiet, what we're going to do is surrender beyond that noise, beyond the official noise, into quiet. And when we get into quiet, everything begins to change. You're going to notice that sense of quietness, that power, that deep, deep power within you that resonates deep within you. And number 6, going to keep going. Okay, so once you've reached one level of quietness, can I get even quieter than this? When you reach the next level, can I get even quieter than this? So we're going to go deeper and deeper into quietness until such time that you are completely quiet and you feel totally quiet. When you hit that state, you'll know it and you'll be ready to take on the world. That's where you want to be all of the time. And one of the things to bear in mind, especially during the day, especially if it's a thing that you don't like doing, just try to observe it. Be the observer of the day. Don't engage with the day, but observe it. Just observe it, and at any moment during the day when you've got a few split seconds where you've got a bit of time to mentally think, just give yourself approval. Just accept it. Just move into that thought process of self-acceptance, and that's going to really begin to change how you view that particular day. So now is the most exciting part of the webinar, and I'm going to just work on this principle of figuring it out. I know a lot of people have been asking me to do something on figuring it out. It's something that I've suffered from for many, many years, and it's something, quite frankly, that we can break free from, this incessant need to figure it out. wanting to know the answers. So let's explore it. But before we do this, because this is now going to be hypnotic in nature, I want you to promise me that when you listen to this next bit of the track, the next bit of this webinar, that you're in a safe and secure place, full attention on this recording. Don't drive, don't operate any heavy machinery or cook or do anything like that that requires your attention. Just have your complete attention on this. Great. So sit somewhere comfortable. And what I want you to do is make sure you've got good posture. You can sit on a chair like I'm doing now. And just focus on your breathing. I want you to just close your eyes. Close your eyes. And just relax. And just focus on your breathing. Going in and out. And just watch your breath going in and out. That's right. And as you watch your breathing, you can begin to just notice now. Beginning to notice what it feels like now. And just notice the sounds in your environment. Sound of traffic. Temperature of the room. Noticing those sounds in the environment. Maybe it's a distant sound of an aircraft. People walking by. Sound of birds outside. And just relax. As you relax, I want you to just focus on, as you inhale, say the word I. As you exhale, say the word am. So as you inhale, say the word I in your mind. As you exhale, say the word am. And just do that by yourself for a few minutes. That's that. And as you begin to relax, as you begin to drift into quietness, you can begin to notice what you notice about yourself. That's right. I want you to think about something that you're trying to figure out right now. Something that you need to know the answer to. You've got to have an answer. You've got to figure it out. You've got to take some action. Normally it's something you're trying to control. You've got to do something. You know, maybe if you're a business owner, you've got to do a course. You've got to do some training. You've got to learn something. You've got to action something. You've got to go through the case studies, and maybe you've got homework to do. Maybe you've got to go do that. Self-development or whatever it is. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to get more money. Trying to figure out how to get out of this job that you hate. So what is it you're trying to figure out? What is it you're trying to get away from? And I want you to just zero in on one of those thoughts, that strongest belief. I simply just want you to watch that belief. Just allow it to repeat in your mind. Now that belief, I need to know this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Just notice it. Just watch it like a movie. It's just Remember, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just a thought. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just a thought. Just watch it. And just watch it. And just watch that belief. And you're going to start to disapprove of this belief, right? So could you let go disapproving of this belief? It's that feeling in your stomach or chest area. Just allow it to leave all by itself. Now, the different ways of doing this, some people will resonate better by opening up the door and allowing it to leave. Some people, including myself sometimes, just prefer to watch it. Now, both are equally powerful, equally effective, but just choose the right one that works for you. If you find it beneficial to open up the door and allow the feeling to leave, the negative feeling to leave, and you feel it leaving, great stuff. Carry on with that for the next part of this exercise. If you find it more beneficial to just watch the belief, then just do that. Again, you're your own best guide, you're your own best therapist. You know what's right for you. But just notice that negative belief, what you're trying to figure out, okay? Now, it's very strong, probably. That's fine. Just watch it. Just watch it making noise. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just a thought. Just a thought. And just watch it. Someone just allow it to be. They don't resist it. Don't try and fight it. Don't try and push it back down. Welcome it up. Just say thank you to it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for disapproving of it. Thank you. And could you let go disapproving of this belief on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most disapproving of the situation, 1 being the least disapproving of it? Whereabouts are you? 10 being the most disapproving of it, 1 being the least. And wherever you are, could you just open up the door over that disapproval feeling and allow it to just float and drift away? Good. And could you let go disapproving of it? Something you're disapproving of it, you don't like it. It agitates you, you want to push it away, but could you let go disapproving of it? The more you let go disapproving of it, the lighter you feel. The lighter you feel, the more you're going to change the situation. Okay, it's the reverse of what you've been taught before. You've been taught to action it, to do something about it. But that's not the right action. That's why you're stuck. That's why your life is still the same as it was yesterday, as it was 3 months ago, as it was 5 years ago, as it was probably 10 years ago. So could you let go disapproving of it and change your life? Could you let go disapproving of it? Open up the door. Allow it to leave. And let go of some more of that disapproval. And could you let go disapproving of it even more? Could you let go disapproving of it even more? And even more. And could you let go disapproving of it even more? And even more. And could you let go disapproving of that feeling even more, that belief, that situation? Could you let go disapproving of it? And could you let go disapproving of it even more? And even more, just open the door nice and wide, allow it to float and drift away. Okay. And could you let go disapproving of that situation even more? And even more. And even more. Okay. And notice where you are. Let's go 1 to 10. 10 being the most disapproving of it. 1 being the least disapproving of it. Whereabouts are you? Now you're going down that scale, you're getting closer towards the 1. 1 being the least disapproving of it. Okay. So see where you are. Could you just Allow yourself to let go of disapproving of him. Just float down that scale. Open up the door and let go disapproving of him. And could you let go disapproving of that situation even more? And even more. And even more. Just open the door nice and wide. Allow that disapproval feeling to float and drift away now. And notice what you notice about yourself, about the situation. Is it more disapproving or less disapproving? So could you let go disapproving of that situation even more? And even more. And could you let go disapproving of that situation even more? Maybe it's a new situation that's come up, new thought, new situation. Could you let go disapproving of it? And could you let go disapproving of it even more? Open up the door nice and wide, allow that feeling to float and drift away now. Good. And could you let go disapproving of it even more? And even more. And you should notice that your mind is starting to get quiet now. So now, could you give that situation some approval now? Could you just love and accept it? Could you just surround it in a nice loving color, nice loving light? Just love it all. Love it as it is. And could you love it even more? Could you love that situation even more? Could you love that situation even more? Could you give it even more love? It should be easier to surround it in love now. Could you just love it? Could you love that situation even more now? Yes. Yep. Can you do that now? Can you love it? Could you give it some more love? Could you give it even more love? Could you love that situation even more? Could you love that situation even more? And could you love that situation even more now? Yes. Could you love that situation even more now? Say yes. Yes, I can. Could you love that situation even more? And even more. And could you love that situation even more? And even more. And even more now. Could you love that situation even more? And could you love that situation even more now? And could you love that situation even more now? Just love it. Just love it. Just go, I love you to that situation. I love you. I love you. Good. And could you love it even more? And could you give yourself some love now? Could you love yourself even more? Could you give yourself some love now? And could you give yourself even more love? And even more love? Could you love yourself even more? And could you love yourself even more? Could you love yourself even more? Good. And now what I want you to do is just focus on your breathing, going in through your nose and out. In through your nose and out. Just allow every single thing to float away. The good thoughts, the not so good thoughts. As you do that, as you focus on your breathing, I want you to say the word now to yourself in your mind. Now. 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 That's it. Just say that in your mind now. That's why I keep saying the word now to yourself. Now. 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 Just keep saying the word now. That's right. And as you do that, I want you to just go back into your breathing. Focus on your breathing going in and out. In and out. Good. Just focus on your breathing now. So, good. And in a few seconds, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. On 5, you're going to emerge feeling relaxed, ready, and confident. So, as I count 1, all feelings of lightness and numbness return to their true and correct perspective from the tips of your toes to the tops of your shoulder, from the tips of your fingers to the top of your head. Your whole body is feeling relaxed and confident right now. So count 2, you're aware of what's above you, what is below you, what is to your left, what is to your right, and these feelings have the correct levels of importance to you and for you right now. As I count 3, all sights and sounds return to the correct pitch and tone to you and for you. The sounds in your environment, the sound of me on the recording. You're having your full and complete attention back onto this webinar, back onto this track here. 4, beginning to accept at a deep level that each and every time you listen to this short hypnosis track, you're going to discover more and more ways to just drop that incessant need to think. And 5, you can begin to open those eyes, and welcome back to you. So, well done on completing a very good hypnosis session. So you can use this session anytime you need to drop that incessant need to figuring it out. I hope you find it useful and beneficial to you. So make sure you return to it as many times as you need to. Now, you've just experienced a very small taste as to what it's like to experience the power of what I do. That's just a very brief, small snapshot. Of course, these things improve over time through repetition. Now, what if I could give you a personalized video that was to work on your own specific issue? What would you say to that? What would it be like if you could have your own members area where you have a 6-week course already in there that tackles your anxiety? And that would be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? So I would like to introduce to you my brand new course, Anxiety Away. Now, in this course, you're going to get a personal introduction from me with a personalized video based upon your specific issue. So you've got a specific issue. I'm going to get that into my inbox and I'll record you a short session, just to give you a bit of a kickstart to help you work through that particular issue that you've got. So it'll be a short hypnosis track, which I'll be able to record for you and, obviously give you a little bit of advice as well. You're also going to get regular monthly support calls where you can work directly with me. These are calls specifically for you where I can work on your issue. Now that is worth its weight in God. I wish I had somebody that could have done the same thing for me. I never had the opportunity to actually work with a therapist in the way that you're going to be working with me. Partly because I didn't have the money. I couldn't afford therapy at that time. Partly because, like I alluded to at the start, they didn't know what they were talking about. And there, quite frankly, wasn't really the acceptance of anxiety. And even still now, it's talked about a lot. It's a lot better than it was now. But still, not, people still aren't quite sure exactly how to deal with it. So you get your very own 6-week Anxiety Away course already uploaded in your private members area. You can go and hit the ground running. And what I'd like to do, actually, is I'd like to show you what this course is like. So if you give me a second on here, I'd like to just show you real quick what you're going to get in this 6-week course, because I think if I show it to you, it's going to absolutely blow your mind. And like I said to you before, I mean, I wish I had something like this when I was starting out. Right, let's see if we can move over here. So, okay, let's see if we can do it from here. So this is the personal introduction. Don't really worry about that. Now, here's what we get. So week 1, you get the foundations, you get goals for the course, what is the feeling, what is the mind, who do these thoughts belong to, spiral of despair. Then you get a check-in video. Okay, after every week you get a special check-in video with me, actually just motivating you, say, look, how did it go? What did you learn? What did you get out from the course? Then week 2, we talk about panic into peace, your safe place. You've got great hypnosis sessions in this course, again, specifically designed to help you, specifically designed to encourage you to move from that panicky state into a peaceful state. And again, at the end of that week, you get a special check-in video, which is specially recorded by myself. Week 3, we start to work on the beliefs. So we did a little bit today, but again, everything is a lot more in depth in this course. And of course, right at the very end, as it typically is a very strong, powerful, very deep hypnosis session, really going into the whole belief process. So you're going to find that really very useful to you. And week 4, I've called it Tools of the Trade. We have a daily morning hypnosis session, so you can listen to it before going to work, before starting your day. We have a vision board hypnosis session. For those of you who have a vision board or like to use vision boards, this is a session that you will like to dip into. We have Accept the Unacceptable. So this is going on the principle of accepting where you are. But this is a very short but very powerful hypnosis session I've recorded specifically to help people deal with the current situation. It's about accepting where you are right now. And when you accept where you are right now, guess where you are on the chart of emotions? You're in acceptance. Now, if you're in acceptance, it means you're going to change your life, right? Things are going to happen. Life's going to start to get better for you, so long as you apply this track. You've also got one on sleep, which you can listen to before going to sleep. And you've got one if you find it very difficult to leave the house, you've got a lot of anxiety before leaving the house. Again, you've got a very good hypnosis session here as well. And the same thing for before socializing, before going to a party or an event. And of course, if you're in a panic attack, you need something right there and then, don't you? So that's what this track's all about, in moments of panic. Now, based upon my very many years of experience of working with anxiety clients, I've been doing this since 2011, so it's a long time to be in the game. Plus, of course, all my own personal history with it. Over the years, I've figured out what are the common beliefs, and these are all very short hypnosis sessions. Again, you're going to find it super powerful and something you can return to time and time again. This course is a life course. It's not just a course that finishes in 6 weeks and then you go and move on to something else. This is something that you can apply there, all the time. You're going to come back to a lot of these tracks, particularly the ones that you resonate with. And again, at the end of all of these weeks, are special catch-up videos as well. And week 6 finishes on a couple more key programs that people have. Again, I've figured out over the years. So that's a little bit about what it is. We're going to go back into the old slides now. Okay. So as well as that, you get a 30-day workbook, which again guides you through the whole course. It's something you can work through. The price is just $19.97 for the first month, then $9.97 for as long as you need me. Cancel anytime you want. Now, I'm going to be blunt. If you can't spend £20 to invest in yourself to change your life, then quite frankly, you're on the wrong webinar. It cost me thousands. In fact, it still does. Cost me thousands to continually develop myself. And, these courses aren't cheap that I go on. So you're getting 20,000, probably 30,000 pounds worth of value easily. In fact, you could argue it's priceless, quite frankly, because I'm changing your life just for a small sum of under £20. For £20, guys, you can change your life. So this is the link. Type it right now into your browser. You've seen me on the website there. Go sign up. Go join in. Answer those questions that come back. I'll record that personalized video for you, and let's start changing your life, because what you've been doing up to now doesn't work. You know that, I know that, I know that. So I'm not going to sell this program because it doesn't really need to be sold. Actually, if you can't see the value of it, then it's not going to make any difference. So also this is your personal members area. This is what you get when you actually purchase the course. It's a beautiful members area, very interactive. We spent many, many months designing this and making sure we got the feel of it right. Up here under resources, you've got inspirations. Now, inspirations are a selection of memes and quotes that we think will help you and benefit you on your journey. Library of Calm is actually a selection of personal videos that I use on a regular basis. You'll come across my mentor there, Chris Dillard, and you'll come across an extremely powerful track that he recorded, 50 minutes long, Getting into Quiet. I highly suggest you listen to that in addition to what we're doing here, because that's going to just take you to a whole new world. There's some beautiful piano music. If you're not into just talking therapy, you can just zone out, listen to some beautiful piano music. And there's also other tracks by me in there as well. Of course, here you've got your workbook and guide, pretty self-explanatory. Sean's Mindful Moments, as you can see down here, it's a selection. Oops, sorry. You can see some of the Sean's Mindful Moments. These are short, sharp tip videos that are designed to be thought-provoking, engaging, and get you to think in a different way. So very useful, very interactive. You're going to absolutely love it, trust me. So visit now and change your life. If you want to change your life, once again, the link is right about here. So go sign up. Go do that right now. Invest in yourself. Make today the day that you change your life. Or as I like to say, make tomorrow your new today. Because only when you take action is when you're going to start to see results. Come join me. Make a date. Put the monthly webinars in your calendar, so you join me on these monthly webinars, so we can begin to get to know each other. I can get to know your problem a bit more, and I can give you the help that you so desperately need. And like I said, guys, I wish I had this when I was starting out. I didn't have it. I didn't have the support. I wasn't understood. And I had to basically battle through and walk the fire of hell, basically, to try and figure out how to change my life. And it took me a long, long, long time to overcome my anxiety, my depression, and everything else. So you don't have to take years and years like I did. You don't have to struggle like I did. You don't have to go through the pain and the discomfort and the war that you and I both know exists in our heads when we have anxiety, when we have depression. So take action today, guys. I look forward to welcoming you on the other side. There's should be two other things that you'll come across for want of transparency. You'll come across a 4-week course that we do called Anxiety Away Plus. It's basically the same thing. The only difference is instead of getting regular monthly webinars, you'll get full weekly sessions with me. And the difference between this and other courses you've come across is it's specifically designed for yourself. So each of these sessions are unplanned in the sense that they're designed to help you. So make sure you come to those sessions with your issues, with your problems, and those sessions are dedicated 100% to you, not me. We don't cover any material. There's nothing to learn or go through. It's just 50 minutes or however long it takes to sort your life out. That is it. Now, for those that want a more personalized experience and a lot more interaction, a lot more accountability, we have a 6-week program. Again, you'll see that on the final upsell. You'll see our prices, and again, you can read through that, but I just want to make you aware that you're going to come across 2 different things. Choose the one that's right for you. If you're ready to take yourself to the next level, then go do that. Just listen to your heart and your soul, and you'll choose the right one that's right for you. Apart from that, it's been a pleasure doing this webinar tonight. I hope you've had a great time. I hope you've learned lots. I hope you've experienced lots on it. And I can't wait to get to meet you either through the YouTube channel And just keep your ideas flowing. I love to put content out there. I love to put lots of free content out there. So keep requesting, and I'll try and do this as often as I can. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. I wish you a great evening. And I will see you real soon. So take care. Thank you very much now. Okay, guys. See you soon now. Have a great evening.